Hi, this is Rebecca Dirks with PremierGuitar.com. We're here at Jackson at Winter NAMM 2010 talking with Nick Bocott about the guitar that everybody's kind of checking out over here. It's hard to miss the new Randy Rhoads.
Yeah, this is, I don't need to tell you this. If I do, you probably shouldn't read the Premier Guitar magazine because you're an idiot. Randy Rhoads is a legend. Sadly, he was taken away from us, but prior to him doing so, he made two records that are still so hugely influential today, it's not even funny. So 30 years later, we've got the honor of actually reproducing his first ever guitar, also known as the Concorde. This is the one Randy used and is most photographed with Ozzy Osbourne, of course. And this is the first guitar ever to bear the Jackson name. What happened briefly is Randy went to Grover Jackson, who owned Charvel, and he had a concept of building a guitar that kind of looked like a shark. So they drew it on a napkin, as urban legend has it, and the result was the thing behind me. Well, this is actually a completely 110% accurate, not only copy, but also relict version of the guitar, which has actually never been uncased except for once since Randy's death. It's never actually been spec'd out. Any guitar you see that looks like this, in this unique, totally unique shape, which is slightly different to the Rhoads as it currently stands, was actually based off photographs. This is actually based off the real deal. So we had the honor of going to the Rhoads family's house, which is actually where they still teach music, Musonia, where Mrs. Rhoads, God bless her, she's now 90, Dolores, she was teaching while we were doing it. I went with a master builder called Mike Shannon, who's been with the company since the very beginning. In fact, the black guitar, which was born from this, which was the guitar that birthed the Rhoads series as we now know and love it, he was the guy that built it when he was 20 years old. So it's like the cycle of life, if you will. And we also went with a guy called Chip Ellis. Chip's the guy who you probably know, your fine readership know, because he was the guy responsible for the EVH Frankenstein relic. That's an amazing piece of work. So Mike built what you see behind me, Chip reliced it, and it was like CSI. We went in there, the Rhoads family pulled the guitars out from an undisclosed location where it's held under lock and key, literally. We actually offered to pick it up, but they didn't want people knowing where it is. So they brought them to the house. We had 6 hours with them. We wore gloves, the whole 9 yards, out of respect. You know, Mrs. Rhoads' only stipulation was that the last person to play the guitars was her son, and she didn't want anyone else to play it. And we totally understood, and it would be sacrilegious to do so. But we measured everything. And one of the cool things about the guitar behind you is not only is it the first Jackson to ever exist, which is why it's so sought after. In fact, I know it's one of your competition kind of sort of, when Guitar World had their 25th anniversary poll, the most iconic guitar readers poll was won by this guitar over Lucille and Frankenstein, which to me speaks volumes as to the man's legacy. When the guitar was built, it had a 4-piece center blank, but it was also done with the template. It doesn't have a top on it, like the body is the wood as it was. There were 22 screw holes from holding the template on. Those were drilled out and doweled, and we've done the same thing on this because the paint's since sunk. Another question people ask is, why is there black tape on it? And when we launched this, when we unveiled this on Wednesday, Kelly Rhoads and Kathy Rhoads, Randy's brother and sister, came and unveiled it because unfortunately Mrs. Rhoads is in hospital right now, but she still blessed this. The reason for the black tape is on the last tour that Randy did with Ozzy was the Castle set, and apparently the stage management and management decided that when the band went out, they didn't want it to be seen. So they taped the back of the guitar up so it wouldn't catch any lights. So Randy would go out with the guitar flipped, and then when the lights came on, he'd flip it over so no one knew the band were there. That was all part of the deal. So his white Marshall was also hidden. And we've done it this way because for obvious reasons, Dolores doesn't want that tape taken off. And to be honest, if we took it off, it would no longer be the guitar it's supposed to be. So how limited is this? Unbelievably limited. At the Rhoads family's request, we're doing 60 for the world, 30 for America, 30 for the rest of the world, and that's it. Done. Deal. And the suggested retail price, and I'll explain why in a minute, it's a very odd number. It's $12,619.56. The reason being that's Randy's birth date. So that's all part of us paying homage to the man. And if you look at our booth there's a picture of the man playing this iconic instrument. And this is so close that when we unveiled it, we had Scott Ian here too, who gave a marvelous speech. Kathy Rhoads, his sister, was almost in tears just because this is so uncannily close. In fact, I would argue if you put them both together, good luck on telling the difference. Apart from his strings are rusty, obviously. But we can pre-rust the strings if you like for an extra charge. So this is what we've got, and it's it's Jackson's 30th anniversary, and this is the, we call Jackson the bloodline. This guitar is the heart from which the bloodline first pumped. So to be able to launch this on our 30th anniversary with 2 batches of 30 is an unbelievable honor, and understandably people are freaked out over this, including myself. I was actually present when they unboxed them, and it was a religious experience, which religious people will probably consider sacrilegious, but tough. For me, it was a religious experience. And what does Randy mean to the world? There are 3 things you can bank on in life. Taxes will increase. Unfortunately, we will all die. And the 3rd thing is this: every year you will see Randy Rhoads on several guitar magazine covers, because that's the way it is. End of story. And whenever people like Zakk Wylde are interviewed, and any new players too, his name will be mentioned as a massive influence. And now he's influencing a whole new generation thanks to Guitar Hero and all that good stuff. So we're very proud to play a very small part in keeping this man's legacy alive, because he was a tiny guy, but his shadow was massive.
If people want to kind of check out more detailed pictures, read the story for themselves, are you guys going to have something online?
No, but they can call me at home. My number is, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, we will, in the upcoming weeks, we will have something posted on the site, and we will continue to post more, because one of the things we did is when we actually did this, we had a photographer there, and we also videoed it, because we wanted to capture this moment in history forever. So we've got some amazing pictures. In fact, there's a screen up here which has got about 100 of them on that are just rotating, and it just shows you the CSI-like detail, the forensic pathology detail we went into to actually measure to make sure everything was perfectly correct, and we duplicated it exactly. So yeah, we'll be publishing that, and the lucky 60 folk that get the guitar will actually get a DVD with those photographs in, and also footage of photographs and little bits of footage of Mike Shannon building the thing as well. So that's a work in progress, so stay tuned to www.jacksonguitars.com. You should check there every day anyway, because it's very important to your life if you're a serious guitar player. And my name's irrelevant, but the name, like I said, behind this guitar, Randy Rhoads, will live on forever, and I'm really grateful he existed, because it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing this. So some people probably hate him for that, but I thank him on a daily basis.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
My pleasure.
This is Rebecca Dirks with PremierGuitar.com at Winter NAMM 2010.